In this video, I'm going to give you a couple reasons why buying a used home might be better than going new construction, especially in this crazy market that we're experiencing. What's up, you guys? My name is Cody Steck, your favorite Utah realtor. Thank you for being a supporter of the channel and returning for another video. Or if this is your first time here, welcome. I talk about everything you need to know about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, and play here in Utah. If you're looking at buying or selling real estate, make sure to reach out to me. My information's here on the screen. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. All right, so with that said, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the unexpected and hidden costs to buying new construction. Now, I've talked about this a lot here on the channel before. If you've watched my videos, you'll know that with new construction, you do get the added benefit of two main things in most cases. Number one, you get to be the very first person who's ever lived in that home. And then number two, you also, in most cases, get to choose out the materials that go into that home as well. So you get to choose out what kitchen cabinets you want, what countertops you want, what paint colors you want, what style of door goes into the home, what tile you want. You get to choose all of these things with the new home. Now, that is a very nice feature of buying new construction, but unfortunately it does come with the added cost that you now have to pay for that. Regardless of what those materials actually cost, you're going to pay at least a 5 to 10% premium to build new construction. That's just the reality of the market. It's very similar to buying a brand new car. Can you go buy a 1-year-old car with 2,000 miles on it for a huge discount? Yes, you absolutely can, and housing is no different. So just like buying a new car and driving it off the lot, you're going to pay a premium for that. When buying a new home, you're also going to pay a premium for that. Now, it does come with some benefits, so you have to decide if you're willing to make that trade-off. But we're going to talk about some of the unexpected costs when it comes to new construction, and again, like I said, why buying a used home might be a better fit. All right, so number one on our list here, we're going to talk about landscaping. Now, here in Utah, it's very common for the builders to landscape the front yard of the property, as well as maybe a little bit on the side yard for each side. However, they are not going to landscape the backyard in most cases. 99% of the time, they do not do anything to the backyard other than just, level it and make it dirt, and that's it. So you're going to have to come in after the fact and pay for that landscaping, and that's going to be a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 cost. I've even seen some landscaping jobs cost upwards of $100,000, depending on how big and how elaborate the job is that you're trying to do. So it can get incredibly expensive just for landscaping. I think a lot of people really underestimate how expensive this can be. For an example, I actually just had a landscape job done at my house, and all we did was take out a cinder block wall and add grass in this area. Now, it was a big amount of grass. It was about 2,500 square feet of grass. So yes, definitely a very large chunk of grass, as well as taking out this yard. But just to add in that grass, add in sprinklers, take out the wall, do a little bit of demolition, it was over $12,000 just to do that. I think most people would probably look at that and think, oh yeah, probably $5,000-6,000. No, it was about $12,000, and that was a very cheap bid. We had a number of bids. Some were going $15,000, even $20,000 for this job. So it's kind of crazy to see how much landscaping can cost. Yes, there's a lot of work that goes into it, but this is something you have to be prepared for if you're buying a brand new home. If you're just doing a simple job by adding in some grass or maybe just a concrete pad, it can be, somewhat affordable. But if you're going to get more elaborate, you start adding in trees and planters and shrubs and, concrete walls and retaining walls and all these design aspects, it can get very expensive. So you got to be prepared for that. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about something on the interior. Again, with new construction, most people don't even think about this when touring a new home, but it's the fact that you're going to need some type of window treatments after moving into the home. Window treatments can cover anything from blinds to shutters to maybe drapes or something else that you're going to put over the windows, right? So you're going to have to move into the home. The builder is not going to do this for you because there's a lot of different styles. There's a lot of different preference. Maybe you want them or you don't want them, but I'd say most people are going to want these. This can easily cost you a couple $100s per window. I've even seen it go $600, $700, $800 per window. And when you add that up and you've got 20, 30, 40 windows in the house, it can get expensive very, very quickly. So we're talking about, somewhere between $5,000 to $10,000 for an average range just for some blinds, even just some very basic blinds or shutters. You're looking $5,000, $10,000, maybe $15,000 depending on how many windows you have, the sizes, etc. So that's another hidden cost you're going to have to be prepared for. Now we're going to cover a couple more interior ones, but before we do that, make sure to stick around all the way till the end because we're going to cover some good ones here in just a minute. Before we do that, talking about other interior items you need, you're going to need a refrigerator. That's going to cost you a couple $1,000s. You're going to need a washer and dryer. That's another, $1,500, $2,000 depending on what you get. So easily that's another $5,000 or so, where on a used home, you could potentially negotiate for the seller to leave those items in the property. Now, not everybody's going to want to do that, but again, it is something that you have to be prepared for, especially if you're going into this as a new home. Now let's actually move back outside and talk about something that I didn't even mention just a minute ago when it comes to landscaping. When I was talking about the landscaping, I was simply just talking about the grass, some walls, some trees, some shrubs. I didn't even talk anything about fencing. When it comes to fencing, you're looking at spending somewhere between $20 to $25 a linear foot for chain link fence. Now, most people don't even like chain link, but that's like the very entry level cost for some type of fencing out there. If you're looking at doing vinyl, which is the most popular material right now, as well as what most HOAs and CC&Rs will require, you're going to be looking at somewhere between $35 to $45 per linear foot for vinyl fencing. Now, that doesn't include posts, that doesn't include gates or anything else that you want to do. So it can get very, very expensive, right? So just to give you some rough numbers, if you've got a typical, quarter acre lot, you could be looking at $8,000, $10,000, maybe $12,000 just for a simple vinyl fence. Probably round that up, add another 10 to 15% for your gates, your posts, and any additional materials that they're going to need. This is another added cost that a lot of people don't think about. They just move into the home and then all of a sudden they realize, wait, my dog can run away or my kids can run away. I need some fencing here in this property. So this is going to add additional cost. Again, another $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 for a typical size lot. Now, there's one more major thing I want to talk about when it comes to building a new home and what you have to plan for after the fact, after you've already moved in. Before we do that, make sure to check out the newsletter in the description box down below. And also, again, reminder, guys, if you're looking to buy or sell or invest in real estate here in Utah, please reach out to me, call, text, or email anytime. My information is here on the screen. I love hearing from you guys. I've had people from all across the world reach out. I've also had tons of people here locally reach out to me, and I cannot wait to help you along your own journey. So with that said, let's talk about finishing your basement. Again, here in Utah, a lot of people have questions about this, especially if you're not from the area. People wonder, hey, why are basements not finished? And here in Utah, that's just the norm, right? Builders generally do not finish the basement. They're only going to do the foundational walls, which are going to be concrete, and then they'll do any supporting walls on the interior of the floor plan, and that's it, right? They're not going to do any of these ancillary walls. They're not going to add in any more electrical or HVAC than they have to. They will typically pre-plumb it for a future bathroom or kitchenette, but that's about it, right? You're going to have to come in after the fact to finish off that basement, and that's going to cost you somewhere between $40 to $50 a square foot for kind of just your average finishing, right? If you're doing something fancy, you're adding an additional kitchen or some other design features, maybe a theater room or something, you could easily be $60, $70 a foot on that. So even if you just have a 1,000 square foot basement, you're looking at another $40,000 to $50,000 to finish off that basement. If you're 1,500 square feet or 2,000 square feet, it could easily be $75,000 to $100,000 just to finish off your basement. So it can get very expensive. As again, another hidden cost to buying new construction. If you go out there and you buy an $800,000 home, by the time you finish the landscaping, the blinds, appliances, right? The refrigerator, the washer, the dryer, you go in, you put in a fence, you finish the basement, you could easily be $100,000 to $200,000 in additional cost. So this is something you have to consider if you're looking at new construction. And this is a reason why buying a used home might be better fit for you. You can go out there and buy a used home that's already had a lot of these things done to it for a very comparable cost. Oftentimes you can save that exact amount. You could buy that home that's already had those finishes for the exact same starting price as what you'd find on new construction, right? So you might be $800 plus another $150 on new construction, or you could find a home that's a couple years old. Maybe it's already had some of these things done and it's selling for $800, $820, something like that, right? So this is an overview why buying a used home might be a better thing. At the end of the day, you just have to make an informed decision about what's best for you and your family. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Reach out to me, call, text, or email anytime if you're looking to buy or sell real estate. Check out the newsletter before you go in the description box down below. We release a ton of information about Salt Lake and what you need to know about living here that, it's a lot of information that never makes it onto the channel here. So if you want to stay up to date on that, check it out. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.